Well, hello and good morning. So, hello, good morning. Welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Tanya. Good morning. And Debbie. Hope your wrist is feeling a little bit better, more than it did the day before. Margaret, good morning. Sharon, good morning. Hello. Um, hello, Nicole. Good morning. Good afternoon to you as so. Good morning, Rachel. Hey, Chris, how you doing, sir? Good to see you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dana. Good morning. Oh, awesome to hear, Debbie. Hello, my lovely father. Everybody say hi to my dad. My father. Good morning. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Carmen. Um, Not that I'm going to get into details and stuff like that, but a lot of you do. Hey, good morning, Carrie. A lot of you do get used to seeing my dad in the chat, and recently had some health issues, and so he hasn't been around for a little while. So we've been monitoring my father for a little bit. So I mean, he's doing much better and um, basically back on his feet, so to speak. So it's good to see that he's back up and around, and yeah, he's been doing some stuff on the end that he's had to kind of deal with and manage, and so he's um you know yeah, you can't keep him down too long. He finds a way to get back on his feet again, eventually, even if it is painful. So so I was glad to see that my dad's feeling better. Yeah, so as I prep a couple things real quickly. um I gotta get my notes. I have all my notes and things, so I'm gonna be looking over that way a couple times, probably um, more than you used to. But I just always want to let you guys know that it's not like I'm not paying attention to you. I'm just looking over there at my notes. So trying to be a little bit more organized this year. I mean, that's one of the things that um, I do like to just kind of ad lib a lot, as far as just kind of go right from where it is. I mean, it's just something I'm used to. Hey, good morning, Jennifer. And it's just for me, I like that. I like to be able to kind of sit on the edge of the seat in a way, and just kind of go, because it just forces you to think a little bit more, and it doesn't, you want to do the research and things like that, and you want to have all that stuff memorized and things. But sometimes I don't want to do that all the time. I want to really be in that moment, which is a cool way to live. Hey, good morning, Sarah. And so that's something special for me, is to you know which is why sometimes I might stumble over things, or I have to think about something for a second. It's because it's a weird thing, but it is a way of living in the now, and or present, however you want to word it. But it is kind of cool. I mean, it's hard. It's not easy when you first do it. Hello, Heather. Good morning. Well, thank you, Margaret. Well, that'll tie into the topic of discussion in a little while. So always remember, all my backgrounds are done, for a reason. I don't. That's why I don't keep the same one all the time. It's got to be different every week, because there is something different. Hey, good morning, Kelly. So there is things going on. So I want to get through. I got a couple of little things to go through, and then we'll kind of get into the main thing of aura, which is the main topic of the day. So, Margaret's asking how much snow they got. Well, you know, that's cool, because I was going to talk about that. I was just going to be my second little mini topic. But yeah, well, actually, let me do that. Let's back up real quickly, and before we talk about the snow stuff, I wanted to mention about the we had this week. We had several cool things happen. Well, at least from astrological standpoint. 3 days ago we had February 2nd, which, if you break it all down, you had hey, Ramona, good morning. Let's see. But yeah, we so February 2nd, sorry, I'm looking at another note. So the date, if you guys break it down, so all those number lovers out there, numerology fans, it was 2/2/22. So February, second month, second day of the month, and the year 2022. But like we always do, we always break the year down to the last couple digits. So a really cool number to have pop up, and hopefully some of you caught that. And if you didn't see my post, you guys can always go back to the Black Swamp Medium page and then take a peek at that and look at it, because it's pretty cool. And even then, we get to do that again in a couple weeks. So on the 22nd, we get to do it all over again. So it'll be 2/22/22, which is just super, super cool. But as I posted about it, again, it's not my, I kind of, when I do catch it, I try to share what, is being said of it. And so it's a lot of cleansing of ourselves and a lot of manifesting on these days. So when we get to the 22nd of this month, make sure you guys are doing that. Make sure you kind of thinking about the things that you don't need, in your life anymore. I mean, it could be small, could be big. And then just trying to create what you want to achieve, as there are other goals that maybe if you're closing one, or let's just use the metaphor. We're going to close one door, we're going to open another one. So, close whatever it is and then open up the door to the next thing. So, everything kind of goes together. But the other cool thing was just if you broke down the numbers and things like that, it is all about balancing and, but at the same time, just being cool and calm about it, and not stressing, because obviously you're trying to cleanse yourself, and we're talking more sometimes a little bit, you could take it either physically and spiritually, depends on how you want to approach that. A lot of us are going to think of that more in a spiritual sense, especially those that do this kind of things on a more daily basis. But some of you that, aren't really doing a lot of, psychic or mediumship things, and it might be a little bit more physical. You might have more things going on that you might want to, kind of get off of your back and sort of thing, so to speak. So, but it's how you want to approach it, and it's, these astrological events, whether you believe in them or not, or care about them at all, you got to do what's best for you during those moments, or days or times, so whatever it is, approach it with the best intentions, the positive energies that you can put in it, and then move, keep moving forward. So like I said, I'm not going to go deep dark, into these things and stuff like that, but okay, well, let's see. I'm going to try to keep going back and forth. Rachel's saying, I believe all the plants are finally direct for a couple months, so that is as good as yeah, good. Yep. So but so that was kind of cool, with the, a couple days ago where we had that going on. And then obviously, we went into the storm. So a lot of us, what did we got, Jen? Part of a celebrating symbolic and Candlemas Groundhog Day is definitely both energetically, physically, and cleansing. Yes. Yeah, see, those were other things I forgot about, mentioning, the groundhog and symbolic and stuff. But yeah, it's there were so many cool things this week. It's truly neat that, like most of us, growing up, we're used to, hey, good morning, Cindy. We're used to, living to, for each holiday and stuff like that. But it's neat how you can look at a lot of the other things that are going on that have meaning to it. A lot of these, are hundreds and thousands of years old when it comes to this, and celebrations and things like that. And what was I was looking at something recently, a couple days ago, and there was, it might have been the Vikings. So you guys know that, I have Scandinavian, Viking in me a little bit. And I think it was them, if I'm not mistaken, that, it was like every 6 to 8 weeks, there was some type of celebration that they were, doing. So, I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, that's pretty regular, and obviously like the equinoxes and things of that nature, really fall in there too. But then there's a lot of in between things too. So, those are fun. I mean, it's real fun to think that, there used to be tons more celebrating of, natural things, the way that the positioning of where we are and stuff. Hey, Rodney, good morning. So to me, it's neat that if we can kind of go back to that, it's not like, we're going back into dark times, but the idea of celebrating things a little bit more, we can push that positive stuff out there, because the things that were being celebrated, like an equinox or something, or solstice, it's not like it's a bad thing. you know but but it makes it more fun to experience and celebrate. Plus, it kind of gets us away from all the garbage that we have to like deal with every day. I mean, you guys hear me say it all the time. I try to do as much positive um stuff. I mean, you guys see me laughing and joking, and we just need that. And we're all subjected to the stuff that's going on every day, and it just obviously gets overwhelming. I know all of you agree, because why do you want to be amongst that? Because it just brings you down, and that's stinks. I mean, outright stinks. So it's up to us to try to just get there and just push that positive energies back, and we can all do that. We have a great time. I mean, you guys show up every week, and we have such a good time, and a lot of people are helping each other out, or talking, or sharing advice and stuff. That's what it's supposed to be, and that's the cool part of why I love doing this, because we all are kind of hanging out together, even though I'm the only one with the microphone. But so but still, it's neat to see that everybody's willing to talk, even if you're not Facebook friends, or you've never talked to somebody in the chat before. It still all kind of comes together. And if it's just that one time, that one moment that you were able to share something or learn something from somebody, it was all worth it. You know what I mean? So let's see. Jennifer, same thing with the Celts, equinoxes, solstices, the cross quarter Sabbats. Yep. Yes, Dad, you can drink the fireballs. I mean, you might not be able to just yet. You might have to still wait another little while. Margaret, maybe that's why I like the Jamaican Me Crazy coffee. Yeah, I like that. Yep. And then Roddy's commenting on my dad. Anytime for a good drink. Yeah, hey, who doesn't like a good drink once in a while? It's kind of just kind of it's kind of that unnatural, even though it is natural, for the process of things, but calms you down a little bit, as long as you're taking, being moderate about that. But that's okay, if you're not into drinking special drinks, then there's no need for that. So, but yeah, so I mean, so like I said, we'll jump back, keep moving along. So yeah, the snowstorms. I know not everybody did, because I there's some of you that are not in the Midwest and such, but I know a lot of the storms kept moving, easterly, for the most part. But yeah, I mean, we shockingly, where I live in Ohio, we got spared for the most part. So what was interesting, and it doesn't, you guys have talked about this before, so I mean, I'm not going to go rehashing on it, over and over again, even though I do like to repeat myself at times when I really want to make that point to be clear to you guys. But it was fascinating that they all these predictions, and even hearing different states around Ohio and stuff, talking about showing their maps, and even you can see where I live and where it was including the predictions and things. And then it's crazy is that, we're supposed to get, smoked, starting Wednesday, and just get really bad, and then continue into Thursday, and even a little bit into Friday. And so it was fascinating to watch how it was going. Hey, good morning, Christine. It was fascinating to see how my area, which again, I've always coined it the Bermuda Triangle of weather, not because there's water. Well, I mean, we have a Lake Erie, but not too far from us. But it's just this little spot where I live that you just never know what the weather's going to do, because they could predict it all they want. And regardless of the prediction, it's really a 50-50 shot every single time they predict anything. I mean, it truly is for me. So like I said, they were talking about all these, changes in snow, like the snow is going to turn from rain to snow like around 8-9 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. That didn't happen. It just rained. A couple hours later, then they were like, oh, well, it's going to be like 10-11 o'clock. Still raining. A couple more hours. Still raining. At this point, I'm looking out my backyard and we're flooding. I'm flooding. Now, a lot of other states, Michigan, where I work, and a lot of you are from, you guys are already getting hit, and some of my coworkers were sending me pictures of, where they, out their windows and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you're definitely getting it. And I'm like, I'm just getting rain. And so it wasn't till my area. In fact, and it was even funnier was Carmen, who's in the chat. She lives about 25 minutes from me, more west. She started getting snow early. She started getting about the right time. She had a couple inches down at one point, and I'm like, I'm raining. And we're 25 minutes apart, so it's like, what's going on here? Hey, good morning, Harold. So it was really interesting. But so anyway, it starts at finally at about 4 o'clock, we started seeing the switch. It turned to sleet, because you can see it just little, ice crystals and just almost like hail, but it wasn't hail, but true sleet was just peppering the ground. And so finally we started getting it, and then it wasn't too bad. It got a little heavy for a couple hours, and then it slowed down, especially overnight. Like, it wasn't too bad. I mean, I got out, shoveled a couple times, and then by morning we had some drifting, ready by Thursday, and then about mid-morning or so, then it really started taking off for us, and we started getting the snow a little bit more. And eventually, I don't know what time it was. Now, I didn't post it. At least I don't remember if I did. I don't think I did. Of course, I went out. I did my snow walk, which I know a lot of you always love that. So I go out and do my snow walk just to take a ruler and measure what we got. And when I went out there, we were just barely at 4 inches. And I'm like, well, this was Thursday and we're barely at 4 inches. We're so far under from where they said we'd be, because they were talking about how it was going to be like an inch an hour. And I'm going, no. So finally by Thursday night, my daughter went out and she snow walked, because she's taken after me. She snow walks, takes the ruler out there and measures it. Hey, good morning, Jennifer. She goes out and measures it, and it's pretty much right at 5 at that point. So it didn't really snow so much more, Thursday night, just a little tiny bit, but nothing much. So really, in the end, the long-winded story is that we only had, essentially like, 5 inches for me. So it's like, and they were talking mid-teens, teens easy by the end of Thursday, and that never happened. So we got spared where I live, and compared to a lot of other areas. But yeah, it was just weird that all this stuff. But as I said, you can't predict where I live, because there's never a guarantee. There never is. Even when I was believing that we were going to get something, but I just didn't think it was going to be so far under what we got. But at the same time, it's hilarious. So yeah, I could see a few people are saying, how much other they got, but yeah, it's crazy to think that, just depending on where the storms were and how they were tracking, just pummel us. But it was fun. What lasted, other than killing myself. And then my dad was asking how I'm physically feeling, definitely getting better, because of, I don't just shovel my driveway. I also shovel across the street. I got an elderly neighbor that just is not physically possible anymore to do his sidewalks and driveway. So every time I go out there, so I'm always doing double duty every time I go out. So I definitely am doing my good deeds and helping out where I can. And it got it was bad because obviously since we had so much rain, it got heavier. And it is what it is. I dealt with it as best I could, and sure, it was terrible. And you got to remember, the bottoms of the driveways are the worst part about it, because all the plow trucks just push everything back into it after you clean it off. So then it's even heavier. So I'm like, so finally yesterday morning, I did the true final shoveling, where it was really just digging out the bottom of the driveways. There wasn't much anywhere else. And so it was killer. Somebody say, well, I need a snowblower. Well, technically I do have one, but it's an electric one. So it can't do the amount of work as like a good one. Now, I got to go over and help my father dig out of the bottom of his driveway yesterday, and I used his behemoth, snowblower. And I'll tell you what, though, my back felt great after that. I mean, it was so fantastic. I'm like, I could get behind this, So, let's see. I just want to read a couple people. Yeah, Jennifer, over shuffling for sure. And then, Margaret. Yeah, that's what I was saying about the snowblower. Yeah, Christine. You know what? It's interesting. when we grew up, I mean, we had, dogs that were shorter dachshunds and even some shorter Jack Russells. And, when it would get thick, we would actually create paths and like little pit stop areas off of like a path. So we would, because my parents had a wide yard, not a deep yard. So it was real wide. So we would cut paths, have little pit stops over here, roundabouts, so it got to be quite amusing for the dogs because they had places to go and not have to worry about like trying to wade through it, up to their chests. So I completely sympathize when you got to make a path for your pets because obviously, it's a little hard to kind of squat and do your business when you got a bunch of snow doing its thing too. So, oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yep. Right. Yeah, Ramona. Yeah, imagine living in the South where I am wearing shorts one day and dress. Yeah, and I got a few people like that too, where they're all over, and when they're sharing their photos, it's like it's great. I mean, but I mean, I truly, I don't mind the snow. Obviously, I don't like the really hardcore, freezing temperatures. Uh, you, but I do like, snow. I mean, it's nice to get a little bit to experience it. We didn't really have a white Christmas. So, that's always kind of that thing that you want is that, you want to see snow on Christmas. It just adds to the whole effect of, getting together and things. Hey, Grace, how you doing? Grace, whatever you can send us, please do. I got some friends over in Hawaii right now. A couple of them are getting married. And so I told them, I said, hey, anything you got over there, bring it back. So so Grace, whatever you can do from Florida, bring it up. Oh, okay, Christine. That's right. They are boxers. That's right. Well, it still is nice for them. Jen, what you got? Yeah, back in the second for first holiday of the day was distancing in the sublet. February 2nd, a celebration of new beginnings and preparation for the landing plant. Yeah, that's what's cool is there were so many different things out there that help prep things as you approached. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Yeah, and exactly. My dad's right because a lot of times if it, after Christmas, then the snow smell on melt on the 26th. I get that. Yeah. Um, that's when you put socks under your flip flops, right? Thanks, Debbie. Um, but yeah, that was the excitement of the snow this week, and as much as it was a pain, and eventually got pretty good for us. It was just a little late, but it seems like everybody's made it through it. No major issues and things. Jennifer, my neighbor who had a snowblower and plowed. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, I mean it's great. See, that's another thing that you could see is you watch some of the other neighbors going and trying to help everybody out, even if it's just the sidewalk up to their driveways. It's really nice to try to help out where you can, and just do it. My neighbor next to me, to my right hand side, which is that way, we would take turns. Like if he went out, he would go all the way down to my driveway, and then when I went out, a couple hours later, I'd get all the way down to his driveway. So it's kind of a cool, thing that we'll do to, and help each other out. And it just saves, on all the lifting and shoveling and all that fun stuff. So but yeah, so I want to hurry up. I do have next thing on there I wanted to do is ask you guys your opinions. There's plenty of you here. So, I mean, as many of you that would like to comment with your opinions, that would be awesome. One of the things that, I've talked about before is, helping people get started with meditation because, it's not easy for a lot because our minds are so chaotic to be able to shut down, close your eyes and, like listen to either somebody guiding you to it or listening to music just to relax and just, kind of block everything else out. And I get that, it's not easy in the beginning. But once you keep at it, it gets better. But what I wanted to know was that, again, typically, the morning show is, about topics or questions that you guys have. Would you guys be interested? Now, it wouldn't be the whole time, maybe, 10 minutes, 15 minutes max or something like that. Would you guys be awake enough or would I be putting you back to sleep if I was to turn around and do a guided meditation? Now, the only trick to it is normally in private, I would put some music on in the background, but I can't do that because I'll get flagged for copyright stuff. So it's going to be a lot more difficult to achieve that with music, because especially when you're brand new at meditation, to have a little bit of something else that's more soothing and calming like music, it just kind of helps relax you a little bit more. So it would be difficult to do that, on a morning show, because like I said, I would love to put the music in there, but obviously we can't. Now, there's other ways to do it. There's other ways to do it. Carrie, what's funny is I've heard so many bad stories about it. A lot of my other friends that do the same thing, they play Native American flute, and they have relaxation music, that they have a few CDs or albums, if you want to call it. The hard part is they've been flagged for using their own music, and the problem is because as soon as Facebook catches it, they freak out, and they don't realize they're the artist that's putting it on. So that's why, like, if I do a live performance, it would I can play at random, because a lot of times, again, you guys know that I like to, and like I said in the beginning, I like to kind of go with what the group wants to do. You know what I mean? I want to help people with what their energies are telling me while I play the music. So that's why I don't get flagged, because I'm not playing anything cover wise, when I do it live, session. So it's one of those, it's like, I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Now, there is a feature within the business page that I have, the Black Swamp meeting page, that I can do a private event, and then I could get away with it because obviously it's not going live to the public. So there's a way to do it to where I can still put some music in there and then do the guided stuff on top of it. So I can look into that if that's maybe a better option, to where some of you that do struggle or just want the idea to be able to sit, for 10-15 minutes and hear me go through, a guided meditation. So I can do that. Like I said, I can look into the private aspect of it and see how it works. Maybe do a quick little test on it and see, if that's something that would work. Because like here, I use StreamYard, and I can only have, so many people in, being in it. So it's tough for me that I can't use this as the main thing, but it would be kind of cool to, make it work out. So let's see. Got a lot of yeses. Okay, so I mean, I didn't think anybody was going to say no, but Margaret, this one does not, because it is completely public. That's why, like, sometimes you'll get the weird messages that'll come up from people that are trolling. This really, anybody can stumble upon it and watch. So this isn't private at all. That's because this is a business page, and so it is open to the public. You can't privatize a live like this. So yeah, there you go, Jen. But yeah, okay. I mean, since you guys are interested, let me look into that. Let me see if that'll work, because it's been on my mind, and there's been some people out there like you that have been struggling, and I've talked to some of them in private, and I thought it was it'd be kind of fun to do, to just do a few of them. I mean, because obviously we can't always get together. A lot of us live all over the place. Hey, Amy. And yeah, Christine, Zoom. I do have Zoom. I could do that too. Hey, Jay, no problem. Good luck today, buddy. And but yeah, I mean, like I said, I saw it one time. I was scrolling through, and I found that there was a way to do private events and things. So yeah, I would send the link out, to everybody that was interested. Funny part is, I have to look into it, because I've never opened it to see how it works, but I'm curious to do it that way, because I bet you it'll give me like everybody's name. So like in my friends list, I'd be able to, probably do like a select all and then send the invites to everybody to do that. So I'll look into it. Like I said, I just wanted to see if you guys were interested, because like I said, the show is supposed to be more morning topic based, and I wanted to do it, but at the same time, it was just going to be me talking the whole time, which is cool. Because anybody that's ever done my guided meditation, I don't sound like this. Amazing as that is, I do not sound like this. My voice changes on purpose because it's has to for the meditation. So I don't sound anything like this, which is kind of neat. But that'll be cool. So yeah, I can look into it and we can kind of set this up for some time. And obviously, uh, not everybody's going to be able to make it because of when it is. And so we'll just, if it works out, maybe it's something I can kind of do here and there a little bit more. And, we can have fun with it. And like I said, just help people out. Like I said, we don't have to do, some crazy long time. Like, if I was going to do use my flutes and do a longer performance, yeah, it makes more sense. Because even then, you don't have to be there live. You can watch it when you're, at any other point. But obviously, a guided meditation, it's not going to get recorded, and so it's going to have to be, you're going to have to make it. So that's essentially what it'll come down to. So, um, yeah. So, but okay, that helps me out. Like I said, I didn't think anybody would be against it, but let me see how I can, square it away to make it to where we can have some music because I have a mixer that sits right next to me, and when I do this privately, I put some music in there. It's not real loud. It's just enough to where you can hear it, but still hear me at the same time. So that'd be cool. Well, I appreciate your feedback on that, and I think it would be kind of fun for all of us. And I'm not seeing all the comments, so I'm truly because I wanted to get the points out, so I did not see anything of what you guys were just saying for the last couple minutes. So. But all right. I mean, I'm just gonna okay, I'm just looking. Now, I saw a couple of people say, why not play my music, which I'll touch that real fast. I you know, I love my album. I love my CD. Problem is, I'm critical of it, even though I'm happy it came out how I wanted it. The problem is, then I listen to it and I'm like, well, what if I would have done that? So then I'm like getting sidetracked on it because I mean, I've heard all my songs so many hundreds of times each that I just can't like help but that creative mind going is like, well, maybe if I would have done this, or I could have did this, or what if this, so I can't listen to my music when I do guided meditation. So it's always great when other people do that, can fill in and use it, in private for themselves. So it does make me I just want to pick it apart and not in a negative way. It's just always like, what could I do better? What could make it even more positive for the person that's listening to it. So but that's just the creative aspect of it. It would be bad if I just was like, I said it, that's it, and then never care about it again, so that's not how I am. I like to be able to improve upon things. I mean, we all should. We always should do things more. So anyway, so hopefully that we'll see how that all plays out. So all right, let me do this real quick so we can get into the next topic, or the main topic of the day. So we're going to talk about the aura. I like saying auras with an S. It's just kind of fun because I'm trying to use it as a group setting instead of just one thing. But now, again, I'm not an expert. I know enough to get through, and I do have a cheat sheet to kind of look over and give myself a few little pointers and things. But I never. Well, the easiest thing is, okay, for those don't have a clue, aura, the easiest way to put it is, and this is a funny way to look at it, but it's so true, is imagine right now, if anyone, even one of your animals comes up to you and gets all up in your face, but doesn't touch you, they're not physically touching you in any way. Now, if you are blindfolded, and let's just put it that way, you're going to notice something's there, even if you don't hear what's going on, but you're going to feel it because your aura is this energy field that's surrounding you. Okay. So I love to put that analogy in there, is that if somebody gets in your face, you're either going to like it or you're going to hate it. And a lot of times you hate it when you don't know the person that's in your face. Now, granted, right now, not everybody should be getting in each other's faces, but those that are close to you and you live with them all the time, that's a different story. But but if you really notice that, yeah, if anybody enters your bubble, I mean, that's another term that a lot of people use. You enter your bubble, you know, one, it's weird because you're not used to that, having that somebody like that close into you. Because it's interesting as with, like, I will, people watch sometimes, like when we're out in public, and it's fascinating when you see people that love to be really close to somebody when they're talking, and you notice that the other person's not comfortable, so they sort of start doing this thing. I mean, pay attention to that sometimes. I mean, it might be, it probably won't be as noticeable right now still, but it still happens. I mean, even if we're all masked up, you still feel that. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing, buddy? And you still feel that, and it's fun to watch. And even I'm like that way. Yeah, right, Harold. Yep. It is. This is how it all kind of ties in. Even we're not going down the Reiki or healing side of things, but yes, that those energy fields are so critical. But it's so neat because I've had people that, they're so into what they're talking about or sharing a story with me in public, and they keep getting closer because they're just so they want to get that message across, so they're like getting closer to really make sure you hear it. But at the same time, I do a little bit of a lean back, and it's not that I anything negative. It's just like I'm good here because the closer you get, now I'm going to start picking up on everything else that you're going. And that's with you personally, because your aura is going to have a lot about what's going on with you. We can tell, obviously, we can tell what kind of mood is. And that's even if we had a blindfold on, we can tell what kind of mood you are when you come up to somebody. Yeah. See, Christine, she's making a good point. When I'm close to somebody who has abilities, I can feel it. Right. And it is. And that's, for us that do, like what Harold said, Reiki, or you do any type of healing work, energy work, it doesn't take much once you get close to somebody. Now, I've heard it described a lot of different ways. And for the longest time, this is all I knew. And then I did more research on it years ago and found out more. But if you were to stick your arms, and obviously I can't, get all of my arms in here, I'd have to stand way back by the screen. But if you stick your arm out, that's roughly in the ballpark of about 3 feet. That is usually your standard bubble. So when you got both arms out, obviously you can't see them both, but when both arms are out, that's as big as your standard aura. The research I've done has said it goes out even further than that, which, if you really think about it, it does. Because sometimes, you could just get into a room. You may not be standing anywhere in your standard bubble, but yet you can feel everything else out. So it does go out further and further and further. But I'm just focusing on the one that's just for you. We're not worried about the deeper, the more extended versions of your aura, because most people, not everybody really pays attention to those anymore, because you're just so much things are changing and moving, and so you're not always picking up on that stuff. Like I said, the closer it is to you, for you personally, that's when you're going to notice it. Let's see. They tend to calm down when I'm with them. Yes. And Christine's thank you so much, Christine, for adding this. Mental, yeah. And, and for me doing paranormal stuff, what's interesting is, I have, obviously I have protection, obviously I don't want to be, I don't want anything attaching to me, that kind of thing, but I don't want that to happen. And I don't put it out there to have it happen. So it's interesting. And I won't tell people this, but I can tell, when people are on investigations, and the ones that have been doing it for a while usually kind of have that built up, so they're pretty good with their protection. But you can see the ones that haven't done it as much or haven't done it at all, and you can see it, you can feel their energy just trembling, and even then in the dark you can't see it, but you can just feel how there's this tremble. So I'll go over there just slowly. I won't even I just walk over casually. I don't say nothing. I just walk over and I'll stand close to them. So I kind of get my field touching theirs, and it's interesting is how they go, wow, I was just like freaking out there, but all of a sudden now I'm feeling okay. Wow, what's happening? Now, sometimes, depending on the person, I'll say something and sometimes I don't. And there's reasons for all of that, but that's the cool thing, is that you don't have to say anything. You just walk over and do that. And just like Christine was saying about, picking up on somebody's energy. Yeah. Once you're within that range, you start getting all kinds of data. You know what I mean? But like for me in the paranormal, sometimes it's neat to, help somebody out, or they feeling really bad, or something's really poking at them, spirit, maybe, is really just getting on them and stuff. Well, I'll walk over there and it's like, whoa, the spirit backs off and they feel a little bit more safe. And so, it's kind of, it's fun, and it's fun to work that and use that to your advantage. What do you got, Amy? Every human body is surrounded by a complex of three-dimensional electromagnetic field. That's just science, right? Don't know why some people are surprised that others can see them. Right? Yeah, that's it. That is absolutely true. Um, which is why, like the background, this is why I did this background. I had another one, which I'll pull up in just a second because it was cool, but it didn't do exactly what I wanted. But I wanted to show the colors, because that's a lot of what that's the energy fields are always in colors. And each color has a significance to it, and we will go over that here. And but because a lot of us that do this on a regular basis, and some of you may, might have seen some stuff here and there, or somebody that reads you and be like, wow, you really got this kind of color around you, or these colors around you, you know, because some of us can see it. Now, we all can work at it, and you can get to the point of seeing people's auras. It does take a lot of practicing, a lot of exercises to make it work, but it is possible. It's not easy to do here. For me to, talk you through it. I mean, I could say it, but it's still not going to be the same. It's easier when you're with somebody and you kind of can, again, work the energies together, and you kind of make them not feel stressed out about it, especially if they don't start seeing it right away. So there's a lot of times that's why it's great to do things when you're in person, especially, metaphysical and holistic things. It just makes a whole big difference when you're together in the same space, because yeah, much like what Christine just said a second ago. I mean, the high vibrations, and positive energies that just all working together to help each other out. So yeah, it's super, it's really, really cool. But the point, of everything is to because our aura fields, depending on our days and what we go through, we can get damaged, just like anything. Imagine you guys, went to work. It was a long day, stressful, you got beat up, you know what that feeling is like. Well, that's, in a way, I mean, picture it as like somebody taking a hammer and chipping at a wall and trying to break pieces off. Okay. You're damaging your field. You're wearing down. Yeah, yes, there is a physical aspect. Like for me, shoveling. I mean, I'm physically exhausted. I'm sore from all the shoveling. Yeah, but that's also still, in a way, got damaging to my aura. So the idea is you got to take care of yourself, got to rest up, and you got to, rebuild. And, because your aura can go down, and you don't want, to go down for very long, because you'll be in that state. And if you guys have seen, me and so many others that do have shows, or you guys see us in person and we tell you, do this or do that, or watch out for that, there's all those reasons. So all this stuff continues to be connected. So let's see. Oh, Debbie's got a comment. I saw some colors on somebody for the first time at Michigan Paracon. I think I spoke to you about, I think you did too. Yep. Let's see, Christine. I lower my vibration to the soft wave pattern to calm upset. Yes. Yeah. And that's amazing when you are very well versed in your own energies. You know where you're at all the time, and you can shift yourself. You're not really doing healing per se, but it's how you present your aura to try to help somebody. Just like I said, you just stand near them. You don't have to wave your hand, or, you don't have to do all weird gestures and stuff. Just like I said, with the paranormal, I just go over, stand right next to them. That's it. Just kind of cross my hands, or just, if I'm holding some equipment, I'm just standing there. But it's happening. It's all going in during the process. But so that's what's kind of fun. I mean, as far as the once you start paying attention to it a little bit more, and if anybody ever says, yeah, I'm kind of feeling this. And it's not like they're even getting messages. So like, if I talk to you and I'm talking about like, what's going on with like your wrist per se, Debbie, Debbie, for instance, what's wrong with your wrist? I mean, I kind of sense there's something wrong with your wrist. I mean, I'm not being told this by anything, but I can just feel that my wrist is messed up. I mean, what's going on? Granted, I already know what's going on, but it was interesting that it hit me. That time it was a guide telling me to use Debbie as a reference. So um, Debbie broke her wrist recently. So that's what I'm saying. But that's how that would work, is that once I tap into it enough, I can pick up and be like, "Ooh, what's going on here?" When I do healings and cleanses for people, a lot of it's remote work, but even in person, I do kind of a full body check. I'm looking for things that stand out to me, you know. So I'm looking through at their aura. I can kind of see what's going on. Plus, I can see, like a transparent view of the body. You per se, you're alive. Don't worry, you're not dead. but but I can see, because what'll happen is for me, a person that I'm working on is one color, and then usually it's dark for me that stand out when something's, you know, uh, there's a pain issue or something of that effect. It's usually a darker color for me, like black. And that's when then I will, oh, there was something going on with that wrist. And like if it was Debbie, I'd come up going, what happened to your wrist? Why is your wrist all dark? Or, why I keep seeing your wrist not looking well. And then she'd be like, oh yeah, I just broke it. I mean, so like, oh well, there you go. So um, but that's how it plays in for me, is that you're combining a lot of things, but the aura is always there. I mean, like I said, even just looking at somebody, and it does help. I mean, you get a lot of people that can do that. Like, you guys could look at me, and other than the colors, messing you up behind me, behind me, a lot of people can see that I would have basically like weird colors that would, excuse me, hitting the mic, but you'd have all these colors that wouldn't be like completely like this, but it gives you an idea. But they'd be, moving. They're not stable. They're always changing, because it's a living, energetic surrounding. So, and while I'm doing it just for the fun of it, I'm going to put up that other background just because I thought it was kind of cool, because it's a little bit closer, but at the same time, it didn't line up like I wanted to, but this is what I wanted to do. So I couldn't, I'd have to stand up and stuff, but now this is a little bit more of like the shades of color. Sometimes you'll see, now granted, they're not sun rays, so to speak, but I liked how the colors weren't, to me, sometimes they're not always super bright, unless that is truly the only color, which is pretty rare. There's usually at least a couple colors involved, but the it's not so dark and so bright, but yet you still see the colors. But it's kind of neat, because that's why I liked this pattern behind me. But but yeah, I'm going to go back to that one, because I'll be looking at that other silhouette the whole time. So. Oh, let's see, Carrie. I like to sneak a little breath work, walk up and do a big sigh, take a deep breath, yawn. Fun watching people relax when they don't realize it's happening. Thank you, Carrie. That's awesome. It is fun. I mean, and you're only doing good. So you're putting a full positive thing out there. You're not interfering. You're not doing something that you shouldn't be doing. It's not like you're, you know, uh, uh, taking something away from them. You're just giving them get a little love, little love. That's a good way to put it. Amy, one energy that can affect another. That's what regular cleansing is for. Exactly. Yes. Yes, Amy. The uh the I the one bonus for me is when I get to do healings or cleansings, I'm basically doing myself at the same time. It's neat because I'm kind of cleansing myself, because if I'm going to be giving energy and helping somebody out, whether it's a cleanser or healing, I have to be clean too. I can't have anything on me. So in a way, I'm cleansing myself or healing myself, which usually is just cleansing. I'm cleansing myself. Once I'm good to go, then I, pass the energy on to the person I'm working on. So I love when I get to do multiple cleanses or healings, because I'm constantly on top of myself, getting myself in good shape all the time. So I don't have to call out to my friends and say, hey, could you give me a little bit of a cleaning? I don't always have to do that, but then again, it is kind of fun to even for me that, can do that and help other people out. But then to still once in a while have somebody else, jump in and give me a cleanse, because it's interesting. You're used to how it feels when you do it, but then when somebody else does it, it's a whole nother and a whole nother feel. It's so neat to kind of go through, but it's pretty cool though. Let's see. Let's see, Debbie. That's a great question. So that was one that was definitely a point I wanted to get to. It's fun when I do meditations, even just for me personally. When my eyes are shut, it's a lot easier to see it. Or if I'm in a dark room, so I kind of seems like I'm, with my eyes closed. But I always know 1,000,000% that when I'm truly in a good, I shouldn't say a good meditation, but I've said when I've really gotten into the meditation, which usually is 30, 60 seconds, 2 minutes max. But usually, within a couple minutes of just doing the breathing, I've slowed myself down. I've blocked everything else out that has no place during that. I then start to see within, my 180-degree view with the eyes closed, but I'm watching my energy field just moving all around. And it's the coolest thing to see. I mean, imagine like this, where you see like the clouds of colors here. That's what's happening. You're seeing kind of these colored clouds just kind of swirling and floating around. And I'm not the only one that's seen that. Like I said, some people just see straight colors and things, but for me, it's because it always, the energy source moves around you all the time. You just see these clouds that are just moving in, and sometimes they're certain colors, sometimes they're not. And that's the thing that I see a lot. So, right, Amy, don't cook with dirty hands. Mm-hmm. So, but hopefully that helps you out. Let's see, Nicole. I done TM, transcendental meditation, that always see colors in my meditation. Yes. Yeah. It's when you're really into it and and the more you've blocked everything else out, that's when then you'll start to see your energy field, and you can do that with your eyes closed. It does help that you're not like having a big bright light, in your face, because obviously you're even with your eyes closed, you can see that there's brightness. But if you could do, like if you want to try it, go into a meditation later on, like in this evening, take like 15 minutes, go into a room, turn off some of the lights, you can leave a little bit on, but nothing bright that's in your face. And then just start breathing, see what happens. See if you might see some colors starting to pop up. That's what's kind of fun. And like I said, that's for me, I know when I'm in the zone, so, right. Let's see, Rachel. This is kind of what happened to me the other day when I didn't read packages. The colors were just going in and out, and some were more vibrant than others, but constantly moving. Yes, Rachel, absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty neat to experience this, because it's freaky at first. I mean, when you're not used to, it's pretty. Don't get me wrong, but it's like when you don't know what that is, when you see it for the first time, you're like, because you're thinking it's like going to be like this. It's just going to be these big, bright, like boom in your face, colors. And it's not. They're a little bit. They're morphing and they're swirling and they're just, it's not what you always expect right out of the gate and stuff. But real quickly, because we are running out of time, let me go through. Like I said, I had to do this because I had to cheat. I want to go through some of the color. I want to go through all the basic colors of the aura. So if you do experience them, you can kind of go through. Now, some of them have some lengthy descriptions, so like I said, I'm cheating, so I can read them. But I got so many other things I'm trying to memorize that I love this stuff, and I always have to have a cheat sheet whenever it comes up, because I'm like, I can't remember it. Maybe I'm getting old. I don't know, but but let me go through the colors before we run out of time, so you guys get an idea. And if you need to, you obviously can zip back towards the end of the show here and listen to the colors again, or you can just look them up. Just look up aura color meanings. And then I would look at a couple of them, because everybody's got an interpretation of it, but you can look them up and just read a few of them. And like I said, you can go through them and see what colors, you're hanging with, so we're going to start with blue. Let's see. I just want to pick some highlights. I don't like the way it sounds. Okay. Blue auras show an eased nervous system, a sustaining life, a balanced existence of transmitting energy and forces. These people are cool, collected, and calm. Okay. Obviously, and I'll just kind of comment too. We know that a lot of the subdued colors, the blues, the greens, purples, that's always been a very cooling and calming effect. When you get into some of these other brighter colors, that's more exciting, more things, and you'll hear about that here. Dad, they haven't, I don't think they've come up with a good plaid definition or meaning for that. So, I mean, we'll have to kind of like take you off to the side and see what plaid would be for you. So, next one is turquoise. So it's kind of like turquoise is kind of a bluish green. Uh, it's signifying high energy, energized personality who's capable of influencing other people and possesses a dynamic quality of being. Let's see. Uh, they can organize well and do many things at the same time, often feeling bored when forced to concentrate on only one thing. As a result, people love bosses who have this aura. It's right, Amy. In Spaceballs. Green indicates a restful energy and a natural ability to heal. People like this are often great gardeners. When someone is with this person, a strong green aura, it's an experience filled with peace. And that's kind of like what Christine was talking, you just kind of go over and just give a little bit here. So green is a natural one. Since green aura is the color of nature, it's very comfortable because we see green almost every single day, purple, though never a strong point in the aura, purple emphasizes spiritual thoughts. If you guys are familiar with the chakras, you got the crown. Purple is up there. That's always higher vibrations. You're kind of getting into that spiritual realm type of thing. So, but the purple is most sensitive. They're most sensitive and wise of the colors and show psychic abilities. Okay. Red. People are generally oriented towards the material. This aura hints at materialistic thoughts as well as thoughts about the physical body. Relating to like the body, heart, circulation. Red is a dense color full of friction. It also can indicate passion and energy, which is depending on the friction can either can attract or repel people. So Margaret, I'll show where this one's coming from. And then let's see, pink. It's obviously we know what pink is. It's the lowest frequency. Okay. Well, let's see, pink aura, which is the mix of red, lowest frequency, and purple, the highest frequency. It's quite rare, appearing on only as temporary thought. Pink shows a person who's managed a perfect balance between material existence and spiritual awareness. Okay. I'm reading this. This is why I'm looking over this way. Hey, Emma, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Let's see, yellow, the color of awakening, inspiration, and intelligence. Yellow auras show joy and freedom. People with this aura have inner joy and generosity. A yellow halo is a sign of spiritual development and is something you seek in person giving spiritual teachings. Very cool. This one's funny. I like how they labeled this. They're saying dirty colors. Dirty colors such as brown, gray, and sulfur are indications of negativity. They appear darker than the background as they glow or smoke. These colors can hint at things such as anger, dark thoughts, depression, or even disease and death. Okay. And the last one they have is white, signifying the lack of body and mind harmony. It grows strength before death, which is kind of a weird one. But I get where they're coming at, with the aura. So obviously we always know white light and stuff is always for the good, but obviously when it's your aura, that's a whole nother, situation. Obviously we do, again, I'm not here to, spout beliefs and things of however you guys, what your systems are, but how many times have you seen it? Or heard about it or read about it or even seen it in movies, and I will say movies or TV shows, but how many times do you heard of people saying, hey, I see a white light as they're dying? You know what I mean? There's this white light, you know what I mean? It's just white. That obviously, could be a couple different things. Could it be their aura is finally, switching over? Is it truly, literally a light that they're going to be walking towards? You know what I mean? So I'm not going to go, because like I said, everybody believes what they want to believe. but it is interesting because, I definitely have never seen white in any of my energy fields. So, or anybody else's for that matter, but which is kind of scary in a way too. But I could imagine reading somebody's energy and be like, wow, that's a lot of white and be like, what do I say? You're gonna die. I don't know, and I'm only laughing about it because it's just that's a weird situation to then be in. But I know if it was, you know, it would be very serious. I would obviously try to figure out what's going on with them and seeing if there's something they can do to get rid of that white light, unless it's something that it's just meant to be. It's going to happen. I mean, we all are at some point, right? But I yeah, it would be interesting. I've never had that happen. I've never seen, any white auras around anybody like that, where it's the dominating color. So it'd be kind of be wild to see. So, and Emma saying, I've seen white light, bright orbs in the last few months with my negative. Yeah, that's okay, Emma. That's different. Don't worry about that. Typically, that usually will refer to if they're white little like LED lights that are floating around. That's usually well, for me, I can speak for myself, is that whenever I see them, typically it's my spirit guides just giving me a kind of a heads up. Hey, don't, you haven't talked to us in a couple days, don't forget we're here for you. So they'll pop up and I see them dancing all over the place, a few of them. So that's when I usually know what it is. So yeah, if you're seeing it with your nature, don't freak out. And it has nothing to do with the auras, which is what we were talking about today. That's a whole nother situation. Aura would be like if you close your eyes and you see all these colors around you, but white cloud is it's all you see. That's a whole different situation. But so yeah, but yeah, seeing the white lights like you did, that's really cool. I mean, don't worry about that. Don't freak out. Just actually be a little bit more. Give some thanks to them, because more than likely it has to do with your guides being around you. Oh, good. I'm glad you weren't. Yeah, and they usually aren't. If you see them with your own eyes, they're typically not. I've never seen with my own eyes ever been afraid of them. Because like I said, they're usually my guides helping me out. So. But yeah, we are out of time. It is now a couple minutes past, so I wanted to just get through that. Margaret, I'll hit you up with where this was. Actually, I got this from, it's called Psychic Source. That was that one, but I looked at a couple of them. I tried to make sure. I just took the one that had a little bit more. I saw another one that was really short, just a couple words for each color, but this one had a little bit more description to it. But this was psychicsource.com. So, cool, Emma. Yeah, great. So, yeah, I'm going to get out of here, guys, because like I said, I try to stick to the hour deal. So, hey, Samantha, we can talk afterwards. Hit me up privately, and then we can talk. So other than that, yeah, I'm going to get out of here because I got some other things to do. Plus, I got to get this show downloaded to audio only version and get that posted. So for anybody that missed it, or you can't watch the show, you can always listen to it through podcast form. So I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for all the great comments. I'm going to look into the whole private meditation by me, and I'll figure that out. Maybe we'll do a test sometime. We'll just talk for a few minutes and then then set up a real event and things. So I will look into that. I'll do some more research and keep you guys posted. Other than that, yep, everything. No other major changes right now. The show's going to continue on next Saturday, so I will try to get you posted earlier. So since we don't have any more snowstorms coming, I'll make sure I get a topic out a lot sooner. So you guys are a little bit more prepared. But yeah. So if you guys are like I said, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I'm going to get out of here, as I said a million times. Thanks again, you guys. So yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Watch for my post, see if anything's coming up or, something's unique. I will definitely be, sharing it. You guys know anybody that wants to see the show or, support me a little bit, just have them go check out my Adam the Black Swamp meeting page, like the page. And you guys can once the video gets, uploaded, you guys can always share it out to your friends and family and stuff. So take a peek at that, and we try to have fun. So I know there's a few new people that just showed up. This is more open. It's not meant to always be constantly topic based, but we always try to have something that I can talk about, and that way we can have some fun and wake up together for the day. So Again, thank you so much. You guys have been watching the mid-morning medium chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium, and I will see you again next time. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. All my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. Thank you.